Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, and also sponsored by Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Harvey Lucier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Cyndi Durrance with Right at Home, In-Home Care and Assistance, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health, and by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Plano starts now.
Good morning, Plano. It is 11:31 on a beautiful Wednesday morning. It's an unseasonably cold April so far, so I don't know if you guys were prepared for that, but hopefully you haven't put away all the winter stuff quite yet. Welcome to episode 61 of the Community Difference Plano, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I am your host, Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, where we specialize in guiding your personal finances, helping you to properly protect your income. It is week 2 of our April topic. Very excited how to turn customers and partners into raving fans, building loyalty that drives referrals and long-term success. We've got a great lineup for you today. Let's jump right in. As we introduce our co-host today. He's outgrilled the pros and walked straight into a New York City light pole and would gladly swap business tips over dinner with James Bond. Kirk Hodgson knows that winning hearts and clients takes more than just great brisket. As a leader at Assured Partners, he's mastered the art of building loyalty that lasts, making him the perfect guest for today's conversation on turning customers and partners into raving fans. So get ready for insights that sizzle and stories that stick. Let's welcome Kirk to the show this morning. Kirk, how are you doing, sir?
Good morning, Nathan. I'm doing great. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to be with you again, and looking forward to a great show with some great guests and co-hosts.
Now I hear you're headed out to Mexico today or tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow. Yes. My brother was a victim of COVID by not able to celebrate his 50th birthday. So he's using the 55 number as a reason to gather some friends and family down to Mexico.
Well, we'll pray for you in that wonderful paradise and nice weather. So that's fantastic. Let's bring in our next co-host who knows how to make an entrance, whether she's leading in business or tumbling down a hill at a Jimmy Buffett concert. Tracy Duff of Assisting Living Locators brings a life is good energy and a whistle so sharp that she can command attention. She's mastered the art of building loyalty that lasts, making her the perfect voice on how to turn customers and partners into lifelong raving fans. Tracy, good morning.
Good morning. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, Tracy.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm well rested, bouncing back from a couple of back-to-back little vacations, and I'm ready to rock and roll. All good.
What are you excited about today?
We have 2 incredible guests that I personally know both of them, and it's going to be a great show. They're going to add a lot of goodness to our topic, and both of them have a lot of raving fans, so they're going to bring a lot to this.
Well, good. We have 2 great guests, and we have 3 amazing co-hosts. Let's bring in the last one. She can twitch her nose like a bunny, once introduced a famous sportscaster with the wrong bio, and believes fake it till you make it is the worst piece of advice ever. I agree with her. Cyndi Durrance knows that real connection beats pretense every time. As the heart behind Right at in-home care. She turns everyday moments into meaningful relationships, making her the perfect voice for today's conversation on turning customers and partners into raving fans. Get ready for insights, laughs, and maybe even a little bunny nose demo. Although I promised her we wouldn't make her do that, so we won't do that.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Cyndi. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Glad to have you here. What are you looking forward to today?
I'm looking forward to hearing all about these two guests and what they do and how they create their own raging fans, because it's different for everybody. And I love to hear people's creative minds at work.
Yeah, I don't know if you want raving fans or raging fans. Maybe one's mad and one's excited.
I know.
They get a lot of hand when they're too raging. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out.
Right. Raving fans.
That's good. Let's bring in our guest. He's a former home run slugger, a karaoke king with a mic-dropping rendition of Rapper's Delight, and the only guy you'll meet who swears by potato chips in his tuna sandwich. We'll have to talk about that later. Tyler Talman, founder of the Carrington Group, is on a mission to take senior living, to make senior living less scary and a whole lot more fun. With his bold approach to life and business, he knows exactly how to turn clients into lifelong fans, and he's here to show us how it's done. Tyler, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good to be here. And Nathan, I think you may or may not have the wrong person, because I'm definitely not someone you'd want to hear sing, but that's okay. Special shout out to Tracy for inviting me to be on the show, and it's great to be here.
Well, that's the information. Now, I was about to ask you to sing, but I guess if you've already told us not to do that, then
Yeah, if you're looking for bad ratings, me singing will definitely be a good way to end the show early.
Well, sometimes it's a matter of the worse it is, the more entertaining it is too. So we could go that direction.
It would definitely create a good reel that we could share and get a lot of views on.
Yeah,
so,
at your expense, of course, Tyler. So
yeah, and we would appreciate it. We would appreciate it.
Okay. All
okay.
right.
Well,
I'll have it for now.
I'm going to talk to my publicist and figure out what's going on here in the background. Anyways, hopefully, is the food part right? Is that true or no?
No.
That was my bio, Nathan.
That's weird. I don't know what happened.
And I have to tell you, Nathan, I was eagerly awaiting to see what kind of goofy intro you were going to give me. And then as you started, I'm going, oh my gosh, did I really write that? But
well, I don't know. I'm very confused right now. So, gosh. Well, let's bring in our last guest before I totally screw that up. But hey, we're having fun here, so it's all good. Let's bring in Mary Greer with the Grandbaby Project. Accidentally surfed her way to shore, just trying to avoid becoming a shark snack. And if that doesn't scream grace under pressure, we don't know what does. She's not running when she's not running soundboards for rock bands or building the Grandbaby Project. She's mastering the art of connection and care. With a how hard can it be attitude and a heart for service, she's here to show us how to turn waves of customers into loyal raving fans. Mary, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. How are you today?
I hope that was true about you, right? Did I get that right?
It was true. It was true about me.
Yeah, it's like, what's happening here?
I surfed my way in Big Sur, California, and later that morning they closed the beach because of tiger sharks. So I didn't stop surfing until I hit dry ground.
Well, that's good. I've never surfed in my life, and I'm glad that you made it, because that could be very, very scary. Tyler, we got a comment from someone that says that they want to hear you sing, so we might have to come back to that in the fourth.
I saw the comment from Lucas. He's in Oklahoma, and no, I'm not going to sing for you.
Take a sip of water, get the vocals warm.
Yeah.
Be ready to roll. Well, guys, we got a great show. When we come back, there's a lot of things going on in Plano and the surrounding cities. We're going to dive into that and tell you what you need to know on the other side of this break. So stick around. We'll be right back.
The Community Difference Plano is made possible by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, Harvey Lucier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health, Cyndi Durrance with Right at Home, in-home care and assistance, and by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up Plano?
What's Up Plano, brought to you by Leavenworth, Texas. Get ready to experience the true heart of Texas at Leavenworth, Texas. Savor authentic Texas cuisine, from barbecue and wild game to Gulf seafood, all while enjoying live music from some of Texas's best artists. So whether you're craving a taste of the Lone Star State or looking for a fun night out, this iconic spot has it all. All right, so first of all, if you haven't been to Leavenworth, fantastic place. We've been having our business development alliances out there. I don't know if we're going to be back this month. We're trying to finalize those details, so stay tuned. We will get that put out to all of our publications and our Facebook website. Everything you need to know. We'll send out a reminder as well to all of our previous attendees as soon as we finalize those details. Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw this, but Plano was just named the happiest city in all of America.
Woohoo!
Number one by smartasset.com, which is pretty amazing. And based that on a couple of metrics they use, 54% of households earn $100,000 plus. They have 84.8% of the days of the year are what they would consider good mental health days. I don't know. I guess that's sunshine and nice temperatures, roughly. Life expectancy, 81.3 years. And it actually, I looked at the rest of the cities, it has the highest marriage rate of any of the other top 15 cities. So 55, almost 56% of people in Plano are married, which is great. So I guess marriage, if you find the right person, right, that leads to a happier life. And if you're living that happy life in Plano, you're in good shape. So from you guys, just that have been here a while, what are some things that what are some things that you think contribute to that? And I know I gave some of the statistics, but what is it about Plano? Because sometimes when you live in a place, you enjoy it, but you don't realize kind of what you have here, right? What are some things that you feel like you stick out as to why we're supposed to be the happiest people in America, so they say.
I like small town feels still.
Yeah.
And even in our big metro area, you go downtown Plano and to our festivals and parks, you still feel like you're in the little town.
Yeah, I live just east of downtown, and it feels still like a very small town to me, even though the more west you go, the bigger it gets, and you kind of curl up into Frisco. But Tyler, you were going to say something.
Growing up in Plano, it's just changed so much. And then you see everything that's happened with Legacy West, and just, you have so many different areas and things that you can do and things to access. And it's so centrally located to really the whole Metroplex. It feels like a small town, but it's still feels like it's connected, I guess, to everything else, and just a very convenient place as a part of Metroplex.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, if you're hearing somebody say something, sorry, did I cut somebody off?
I was going to just offer it's got that small town, but yet cosmopolitan feel too, because you've got, the quaint downtown, and then you go, as mentioned, Legacy West, and the food and the services that are available just make it just a wonderful place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is convenient, and they're building more and more stuff here. There's, HEB is really close, which is my favorite, even though it's in Allen, but still really close. But I think when you combine the parks, the many days of sunshine, the weather, which I generally prefer it to be colder than it is, but that's me personally. But so if you're not happy and you live in Plano, hey, maybe get outside, get some sunshine. It's a beautiful day today. Go for a walk in one of the 500 parks I think that Plano has. They're everywhere. And hopefully you can get a little taste of that Plano happiness. Speaking of downtown, I know you guys mentioned that. Downtown Plano, the American Legion Post 321, we have set to partner with them for a Veterans Job Fair. We're going to have special guest, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. It's May 31st, a Saturday from 12 to 4. This is the sign-up link. I don't know what. Yep. go back to that. There we go. That's the sign up link. If you're a veteran, you can just show up, but we prefer for you to sign up if you're coming, so we kind of have an idea of count. Our goal is to get at least 150 to 200 veterans through there in that 4-hour period. And then if you're a business owner, we've started to finalize our business owners. Lots of spots left, though. If you're a business owner, you can scan this QR code to sign up. It's only $200 for a business to come out there. If you're looking for people, if you're a veteran-owned business, it's only $100. So we'll repost these in our community groups. We'll also post the direct links to the forms as well. And so make sure that you get those. We're trying to finalize our businesses here over by the middle of April. So we would love for you to be a part of that and come out and join us. It is kid friendly. So if you're a veteran, bring the family. There's going to be bounce houses, fun things for the kids. We will have food there to take care of you no matter what time of day you are coming. Okay. Then this coming weekend is at the First Baptist Church, a big, giant Easter egg hunt. It's one of the biggest in the area. Come out, meet local businesses, services. They're going to have free food, activities. This is going to be from 10 a.m. to noon this Saturday. It's going to be a fantastic event and a good opportunity to meet some local businesses and really experience some of that happiness quotient that we talked about a little bit earlier in the segment. And then lastly, we have a great relationship with the Plano Police Department, and they came on last week talking about this crazy event. They do it a couple times a year, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. The next one is April 22nd, 6:30 to 8:30. And really, it's a phenomenal event to help you understand what to do in a crisis, right? If it's an active shooter or just different scenarios that you need to be prepared for, how to act, how to protect not only yourself, but also the people around you. I think these are very, very, very important community events for the safety of your family, yourself, and then knowing what to do in certain situations. And so we're just so grateful that the Plano Police have been so great at educating the masses, the public, in so many different areas. They have so many citizens police academies, different courses on safety in all kinds of different areas. And this is one of our favorites. And then lastly, Officer White, one of the Plano Police Department veteran officers, been here a long time, just got promoted to sergeant. So anytime there's a promotion, we like to give a shout out if we see it come across our desk. Just shout out to Officer White. Great job. And obviously he's been serving Plano for a long time. This is what the actual description says on their website. Officer White has dedicated himself to being someone's hero every day, and we have little doubt that he will continue to do so in his new role with the department. So thank you to Officer White. Much luck in your new role as sergeant. Continue to lead and serve and protect. Kirk, one city over, our sister city, Allen, you spoke with the mayor's office, and they've got a lot of things that they want to tell us.
Yes, I'm working on engaging them for our show, and they offered up some of the things that are happening this week, actually, in Allen. Wanted to remind everybody that the Allen Americans, our ice hockey team up in Allen, hits the ice 3 times this week, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, playing the Tulsa Oilers. And they can be found playing at the Credit Union of Texas Event Center on Stacy Road. Also, this Thursday, while the weather's decent, they're having Movie at the Range. The course is at Waters Creek, Chase Oaks Boulevard. Says, bring a blanket or lawn chair. The golf course is becoming an outdoor movie theater. Enjoy the film, awesome. Legends of Bagger Vance from the Lawn.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
And it's free. Food and drink are available for purchase. How about
That's
that?
this Thursday night?
This Thursday.
A very fitting movie with it being Masters Week, which is one of
my
yes. Watching Bagger Vance on Masters Week on the golf course. That's pretty golfish. And a nice golf course too. A very nice golf course. Well, that's
hard golf course too.
Yeah, that's true. That's fantastic. Tracy, you have been our liaison to the theater here in North Texas and Plano. We've got some exciting things coming up next. Tell us about them.
Yeah. Y'all know I'm a huge fan of the North Texas Performing Arts. So they have their summer camp series starting up again. And theater is a really fun way for kids and youth to explore the arts. and get creative and learn about it. They typically always act out very well at home, so let's get them acting out on stage. They lead this summer camp with professional directors, and the students will transform into their favorite characters and learn life skills, and as they bring popular stories to life on stage. The programs are designed for kids 5 through 18. And at the end of each camp, they do a showcase performance for the friends and family of what they learned and all of that. And new students to the camp and production classes get 40% off of their first experience. So this is a huge time, really good time to start out and see if the kiddos are into this. It's kind of fun. They've got programs available through Plano, Fairview, Frisco, Dallas, Southlake all summer. And they offer 10% for siblings if they come along too. So they have half day, full day camps, and those start in June. And they also have camps for students with learning disabilities or deaf of hard to hearing. It's a really cool program for the special needs. So that's cool. And then they've got their performances that are coming up are Moana Junior, and these are all performed by kids, and that'll be at the Willow Bend Center April 10th through the 13th. Then the Starcatchers performance, and this is a performance that is adapted and performed by the special needs kids. And that is the Lion King Kids feature. So it'll have a lot of music and a lot of dancing and singing going along with it. And that too is April 13th or April 11th through the 13th with different show times, as you can see there. And then the last one I have on here for the month of April is Godspell. And so that is the classic folk rock musical that brings gospels into the life of contemporary setting for all of us to empower friendship, community, and forgiveness. And that is at the end of the month. So all the information about these camps and the performances can be found on ntpa.org. And it's a really, really good way for the kids and the family to get into the theater arts this year. And next, I'm going to introduce Tyler, our guest, Tyler Tallman. He is going to speak to us about a foundation he is very passionate about. It's ISF, Investing in the Success for Foster Youth. And so, Tyler, enlighten me. What do we need to know about ISF?
Well, thanks, Tracy. I appreciate you teeing that up today. So I'm fortunate enough to sit on the board with my wife, Katie, for the International Student Foundation. And we help kids who age out of the foster care system and provide them a variety of different things. First and foremost, a mentor. Most of these kids have, let's just say they've lived a pretty rough life. They've been in and out of different foster homes. Many of them have been homeless. They've dealt with a lot of drug abuse from their parents. And we come alongside them when they age out of the system at age 18 and provide mentors, scholarship dollars for them to help bridge the gap, as well as leadership training where we bring in 50 to 60 students each summer for a life and leadership skills conference. So right now we're in the process of launching our Texas chapter. And so we can get more information out about that. But we realize that to be able to take this where we need to take it long term, the best way to do it is through our communities. And we've got a great community right here. So we're going to start looking at each community and ultimately expand that out throughout the state of Texas. And then hopefully nationwide as the foundation continues to grow.
Awesome.
Well, we appreciate that. How do we get involved if, as a citizen of Plano or surrounding, if we wanted to help out with that? Because it's obviously a really big problem as far as the foster system, and just there's a strain on that system right now, I think, and just what you guys are doing, what that organization is doing is fantastic. So how do we get involved?
Yeah, thanks, Nathan. I appreciate that. There's a lot of different ways to get involved. Of course, we're always looking for high quality mentors, folks that can donate a little bit of their time back and to come alongside these kiddos and help them along with a variety of different things. So you can find out how to be a mentor directly at our website at isfsite.org. Beyond that, our largest fundraising event of the year is up at the Star, and that'll be coming up in October. And so we can put some information about that out, and it's also on our website. But really just learning more, understanding the need and coming alongside us and helping us spread the word and help us with mentorship and ultimately fundraising is a great way to get involved and help us take this where we want to go.
Well, man, I appreciate that. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Kirk and Tracy. And just a lot of things happening in Plano. Hopefully you guys experience the happiness today. Maybe take a moment to kind of be grateful for what we have. It's always good when you're told you're supposed to be happy. Maybe it's good to see kind of an assessment of where you're at and be like, what am I grateful for? Okay. I think that's a good exercise always. Okay. When we come back, how to turn customers and partners into raving fans. Stick around. We'll be right back as we dive into our topic.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
Now back to the show.
Welcome back. How to turn customers or partners into raving fans. Our topic, week 2. We're excited for this conversation. Looking forward to a great discussion. Most businesses, we tend to focus on getting new customers, but that's really not the most the productive way to do that. It often can be very expensive. And so it's not about finding more customers. It's about turning the ones you have into raving fans, right? We mentioned in the pre-show brand ambassador, right? Similar type of concept. And so we're going to break down the difference between just what a satisfied customer is and kind of where that process breaks down, and then how to move them along to actually becoming a raving fan of you, your brand, who you are, what you do, your product or service, etc. When you do that, then you're not chasing referrals, but you've built a pipeline where referrals and different opportunities are coming to you. You see this in a lot of brands that, sometimes don't even advertise, and they just have, lines out the door. You see this with bigger brands as well that have created an energy around their brand so that whatever they put out, people are just eating it up. And so talk about why that is. Let's start with this basic question and try to set the scene here. Think about the difference between a satisfied customer. Okay, I think we've all had satisfied customers, hopefully a lot of them. What's the difference between just being a customer being satisfied and then turning into like a raving fan, someone that is just all about you, your business, your brand? Let's start off with that. Kirk, you want to take that one?
Sure. So Nathan, I guess I'd say, a customer is going to be someone who just is transactional in nature. They just buy from you and they move on to the next scenario. Whereas, when you can take that customer and turn them into a raving fan, they're going to be promoting you. They're engaging with you. They're engaging on your behalf with their centers of influence and friends and family. And they help drive business your way, as opposed to just the transaction of, yes, in my case, I bought insurance from him, versus not only did he provide insurance, but he went through the policy and got me the exact type of insurance I need. That helps really create that raving fan, and they bring more customers into kind of my ecosystem that way.
I think Kirk brings up I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, please.
I think Kirk brings up a really good point too, and I think a lot of it has to do with the language that we use as well when we think about customers. Maybe they're not customers. Maybe they're a community of families that we're serving, or customers seem oftentimes to be, to his point, very transactional, and people, no matter what it is that they're wanting to. No matter what it is they're trying to get from a service provider or whatnot, they expect the basics. They expect to receive the service that they get. It's just, how do you exceed those expectations that is where it starts getting hard.
Yeah, it's like a one and done.
There's a neutrality to customer sat. It's just like, it's what you expect to be satisfied, right?
Yeah. But then the raving fan has the emotional attachment. They love you because, like Kirk said, of the extras you did, how you made them feel. They're going to remember that emotional tie to where it's not a one and done transaction. They're going to remember you and pass your name around to all of their friends because they want them to go through the same type of experience.
Right. I see what you're saying, and I believe that whenever you have a transaction, you just have a service. A service has been performed and you're okay, thank you, you're done. But the opposite, and what we're trying to grow, is an experience. We want them to have a good experience with us, an experience that's going to last, and experience they're going to tell everybody about.
Well, and I think I've always been in either audio, automotive, or construction. But the one thing that I always tell everybody is, when they first come into any type of customer facing situation, is buy the book by Carl Sewell. It's called Customer for Life. Mm-hmm. And they literally tell you, I mean, we all grew up with Sewell. You go and you buy your cars from there. But when you get out of this area, that name does not resonate. But I tell everybody, get this book and read it, because it will tell you how to turn just your average customer into your biggest fan. And a lot of times it doesn't cost a cent. I used to put things in the CRM when I was one of the GMs at a car dealership, and I would put things in the CRM so that when the next person pulled up John Smith's name or Cyndi Durrance, they would know that Cyndi has golden retrievers. Cyndi used to live in Houston, everything that Cyndi has told me. And so they're going to come out to her car and they're going to say, "Hey, Cyndi, you didn't bring any of your dogs with you today. Do you have any new pictures?" I used to carry doggy biscuits in my pocket. And when I see a dog in the dealership, I would always ask their doggy parent, could they have a cookie? And I had a cookie for them. And I usually remembered the dog's name. Would never remember the customer's name, but I always remember the dog's name. And it made a huge difference. It was a bag of a box of milk bones. What they cost $3-4.
Yeah.
And those people kept coming back.
That's so interesting too, Mary, because I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say that you took what would be a kind of blah experience. You know, nobody really wants to go sit around a car dealership or an oil change spot or really anywhere for that matter. But you took what would be a blah experience and actually made it something that they, you know, found enjoyable.
Yeah. And keeping on that Sewell topic, because I thought obviously their name came up in my brain too with this topic. But we don't, I mean, from the commercials and everything we see on TV, you don't even have to be a customer of theirs and know that what you hear about their customer service is over the top and above and beyond. And I've never bought a Sewell before, but I know their experience, you know, their history, and that sticks with me.
So. You're right. You're right. I think people become your advocate when you're there. I am a Sewell customer. That's where I bought my car from. And I've done my maintenance and so on there. And it is service with a smile. Hello, Mr. Durrance. How can we help you today? They remember your name. They see your license plate when you drive up. And I don't know if it takes a picture, but you immediately go into someone's CRM and they know what you're there for and who you are.
Exactly.
And in the door, would you like a coffee while you wait? Which, you know, we'll be in and talk to you in a minute. And they're just like, you're just very, very accommodating with anything and everything you need. They have Wi-Fi, they have coffee, they have snacks, they have a place. If you have children, they have a little spot where the kids can play.
Yeah.
Well, and that's really good. And I've seen the commercials, and I like next time I want to buy a car, that's probably where I'm going to try to go. But we're still, and not that this is bad, and I think, you know, this is above and beyond customer service, because there's like the customer service expected, like politeness, do a good job, follow through. You know, that's not really, that's building a satisfied customer. Right. What you're talking about is definitely above and beyond, and creating an atmosphere where people feel valued. And it's true that most Sewell people they're not going anywhere else for their cars, and they've created that, which is great. But let's flip that. How do you create fans of your business, your product or service, your brand, yourself, whatever, that aren't yet customers or may never be customers? Because we you know, especially in the world of social media, we have a presence with people that don't need what we do at that given moment. They may never need what we do at that given moment. Everybody will need what you do.
Nathan, let me answer that one real quick.
Go ahead.
So it may surprise you guys that I am not a huge fan of the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. It's not my favorite. But I'm a raving fan of Chick-fil-A. I respect what they do. I love what they stand for. I think they have an incredible business model. I think they serve their communities well. And you will never hear me speak ill of them, even though I might not go through their drive-thru to get a chicken sandwich if I have another option. And that's what we're looking at. When it's trendy, right? Is it trendy to do business with you because of who you are, not what you do?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you just made me think of something, Lyndon, and this is kind of the sports analogy, and maybe it's helpful for us to think this way as business owners. But you talk about, not being a fan of the chicken sandwich, but loving Chick-fil-A. I kind of feel the same way about the Yankees, right? I am not a Yankee fan, but the iconicness of their brand, what they mean to baseball, their storied history, the way that they do the no beard thing for all their players. They don't have their names on the bat. I mean, just some things that stick out that you can't help but respect it. And I don't, maybe Red Sox fans don't feel this way, but for me, being grown up Ranger fan, I did not want to ever see the Yankees win, but I couldn't help but just marvel in the nostalgia. So I was a fan of the brand in a sense. I actually had a Yankees hat. And that just occurred to me as you were talking, Lyndon, because I think there's a similarity there. There's a crossover about, maybe we don't want people to hate us and hate our product, but also respect our brand. But there's some crossover there where we're wanting to create a trendiness, a desire for what we're doing, whether or not they need it. Because again, like everybody knows that Chick-fil-A is going to get the 45 car line through in 10 minutes, and Whataburger, you'll be there until the weekend. Everybody knows this, right?
Yeah.
Nathan, one of the things you're saying about the Yankees, and I think this is what we should consider is, and it's for most people, for me, I will say, maybe it's not for most people with Chick-fil-A, it's their core values that I respect, right? And that's what I celebrate.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the tradition of the Yankees and the no beard and the no names, everybody's a team, right? That's respected by other people. So when we're looking at building our brands, sometimes we get so caught up in the product or the service, we forget about our character and our core values and our deep reputation within the community. And if we're not focusing on those things, it's hard to offset regardless how great of a product or service you have.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Chick-fil-A as well, because we are regulars with a 3 and a 5-year-old at home. But I when I think of fast food, I'm not a huge fan of it at large. And I think really when you think about it deeply, it's because most fast food restaurants, you have a good experience one time and then maybe a mediocre experience the next, and then a terrible experience the next time. The beautiful thing about Chick-fil-A is 99.9% of the time you get exactly what it is that you're desiring. And then you've got folks that are doing it with a smile on their face, with great manners, and then of course the core values, Christian values that they have as an organization. So they definitely know how to keep you coming back for sure.
Yeah.
Let's get into the. Oh, was somebody about to say something? Oh, let's get into the details a little bit. So, what is some of the? What would you guys say is the number one mistake business owners make when it comes to kind of leaving the potential for creating a fan on the table, when they just they have the customers, they do great customer service, their customers are satisfied, but they don't take that to the next level? What's the number one mistake that they make with not seeing that process through? What would you say?
I'm sorry.
No, I would.
Mine may not be a popular opinion, but I think it's the business owners that start then, once things are running really smoothly, I think they start neglecting their employees. And that's when things will start falling apart. That's just my personal opinion. But I think that when things are going good, they just think it's always going to go good, and they don't pay any attention to what's going on around them. They start neglecting employees. Employees go to where they're appreciated. You don't quit jobs, you quit bosses. And that's kind of my take on it, that they're not appreciative anymore.
Well, it's interesting because that's almost an internal fan in a sense that you're talking about. And how you treat your employees obviously determines how well they do their job, which can then downline affect the type of brand and core values that you're emanating into the community. So Tyler, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest pitfalls that happens with leaders is they do a really great job of getting customers in the door, delivering on their core service, and then they forget about what it takes to continue to serve that client to make them raving fans. So, it starts with, first of all, you've got to know your customer. That's something really important to us. So, what are their infinities? It's outside of birthdays and anniversaries. What do they enjoy doing? What do they, what are the things that they may or may not need help with that you can identify in advance? And then I think to Mary's point, I think empowering your team to be able to identify and fix problems when they come down the line without having to walk in to my office or another executive's office to get permission, that you empower them to be able to fix those problems, which is very similar to what Ritz-Carlton does as a part of their service model with ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. The last I checked, I believe that every employee has a budget of $2,000 that they can spend without approval to fix different issues that are going on with their hotel customers. So I think that's a huge piece. And I think your employees and your staff, they really become empowered and enjoy their job more when they can take on stuff without having to be micromanaged.
Yeah,
you brought up a good point. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Cyndi.
You brought up a good point, because I think and believe that you have to not only advocate for your customer to create a raving fan, you also have to advocate for the people that you work with and create advocacy for them and what they need to do their job. And that there's an emotional connection when you do that, because they know you care. And you're creating that emotional connection, and you're creating that advocacy. And in my line of work, when you create that advocacy for your client, you're also anticipating their future needs, and you need to, voice that. Listen, I think you might need this in the future. Let's make a note about that, whatever it may be. And it could be just something that they mentioned, but knowing that you are connecting with them, you're on their side, and you're advocating for their needs now and in the future, you will have a raving fan.
Yeah.
You want the best for them.
And with
I was going to say, oh, man, so chatty today. This is fine. That's good. So chatty.
No, but
if I can't say anything, we're having a good show. That's good. Keep going, Tracy.
For those of us like myself who don't have employees and all of that, I know that for me, one of my main concerns is the follow-up. It's a personal follow-up, not just following up to see what someone could sell to you next, but the follow-up. How are things going? What has changed? What has, keeping top of mind. And so many times you'll find when you make that phone call or you do that reach out, you'll get that, oh, I'm so glad you called kind of thing. And you're staying top of mind with that customer, family, senior in my case. Yeah.
And especially if you're in a field where follow-up isn't done. I did healthcare recruiting for a few years, interim executive. And so every Friday, because we all know what bad reputation the recruiters have, never getting back in touch with you, every Friday around 2:00, I would stop what I was doing and I would get in touch with everybody I had dealt with that week, whether they were client or candidate, and give them an update. Even if I didn't have an update to give them, it'd be like, hey, Cyndi, I've not gotten anything back yet. I'll be back on it Monday, but if I hear between now and the end of the day, can I text you? It was just something really simple. So they had told me, oh, like in your second and third year, you'll be making over 6 figures. And I made it in 6 months. And every single person said that I worked with, you're the only one that ever got back to me.
Yeah, I'm reminded.
Yeah. And it was a call, it was a text, however they wanted to be contacted. I took 2 hours and did it. And first year made $127,000 and still in actually less than 6 months.
So hold on just a sec. So when I asked the question originally, I think the biggest problem is people kind of thinking the relationship ends after the sale's completed. Okay.
No, that's when it starts.
And that's when exactly. And so it's all about how does this person feel before, during, and after we get what we want and they get what they want. And so I want us to think on a larger level than just kind of the actual experience of the customer, although extremely important. And the better that is, the better the relationship will be. But I want us to see ourselves as a brand, right? Not just as a purchase, what we do. And so one of the things that is important is having that unforgettable brand experience. So it's not just the product, because people can experience your brand without liking your product, without using your product. We talked about just the Chick-fil-A example. Okay. So why is it that people turn to brands that they love, even if maybe some of the competitors are, priced a little bbit less, but they keep going back to these brands? What is it about that relationship that keeps driving them to those and we probably have some. You may have one. We talked about Mac in the pre-show, Apple computers, right? They have their people will just keep going back. They're not the cheapest in the world. Why is that, right?
Nathan, let me jump on that real quick, because I want to go back to Chick-fil-A, and I want to talk about what we all talked about. We talked about when you go through the drive-through, and the friendliness and the smile and the courtesy and the respect that you get from them, that, to be honest, and we all know this, you don't get that at a lot of other places. And that's a great thing to bring us back, right? We were treated well. But I think what we need to be thinking when we are trying to create and understand how to create raving fans, that methodology didn't come from the drive-through person. That methodology didn't come through the person that was cooking the chicken. That methodology came from the CEO and upper level management of what they wanted the brand to be and the legacy to be. And right now we're thinking on the service person's mindset versus the CEO mindset, right? They're executing the vision. The people in the drive-through, the cooks, the people that work there, they're executing that vision, but they didn't create that vision on their own. So if we're going to create raving fans, what kind of structure and culture are we wanting to create that is going to get our employees to buy in and be enthusiastic about it so that they do execute it? So I think that's the direction we're hoping and wanting to go. Is let's think of this from the CEO level, not from the person standing at the drive-through, on how, because that, to be honest with you, that person at the drive-through probably, if you asked them, how would you create a raving fan? They probably wouldn't have an answer. They wouldn't know. And that's okay that they don't know, because they're working up to be that store manager and to be higher at some point in time. But if we're going to create, if each one of us on this screen is in charge of creating a culture that creates raving fans, we've got to think like the CEO thinks, not like the drive-through person is going to think.
But that drive-through person is actually a result of the brand too, which is because, and then they're perpetrating that as they interact.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But my point being, if we're going to take a lesson from this, right, we've got to change our mindset from who we're thinking like to who we need to be thinking like.
So at the
this goes back to our topic from last month. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
they'd be building the systems and the routines and all of that to train those employees. Like you said, the drive-through girl may not know how to make raving fans, but she followed the training. She was taught all the
She's a byproduct of the system.
Right. The CEO
you asked yourself this question: what is the goal of having a raving fan? It's to build a legacy business, right?
Sure.
So the legacy business, Truett Cathy, right? That's the founder of Chick-fil-A, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
So you're going to look at your legacy different than the employee standing at the drive-through. It doesn't make them any less valuable, any less important. It's just a difference. And what I've seen over the past 20 years, when you talk about raving fans and building legacies, a lot of us still have that employee mindset, trying to operate as an entrepreneur or as our own CEO. And we don't know how to make that transition.
Well, speaking of the difference between a couple of things, let's wrap up this segment. Guys, thank you so much. We're going to wrap up with what's the difference. So we'll play our sounder. We'll finish this segment with our little fun game called What's the Difference? And we'll do that next.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All right, so we started with this question actually initially, and I'm going to ask it again just because I want to make sure our audience and our is listening to this, because I think it's a very important distinction. Okay, so I'll ask the question. I'll give you guys about 20 seconds to give it a good answer, and then we'll go on. If you ramble, we're going to buzz you, but it's all fun, so it's like a game show. So let's do it again here, just so you can take notes if you're listening. What's the difference between a customer and a raving fan? We'll start with Kirk.
Well, I think, a customer is going to be somebody who's just literally buying from you, and transactional, as we talked about, and a raving fan is going to promote you. You've got to influence their circle of friends and family, and bring more business to you because you've solved a problem. You've exceeded their expectations. Kind of remembering the saying of under promise and over deliver. And you kind of start creating that mantra, and that helps create raving fans and drives business to you.
When you think like Starbucks, for example, you go buy Starbucks, that's great. But if you have the gold card at Starbucks, then you've become a caffeine junkie at that point, and you're a raging fan. You get all the seasonal promotions, and
you would be raging fan by then.
Yes.
Did I say raging? Yes. Yeah. See, you got me stuck on raging now. Yeah, with all that caffeine, you might be raging. I don't know. A raving fan. Jeez. Okay. Let's go with Mary. Mary, what's the difference between customer service and customer experience?
Customer service is treating the customer well so that they will come back. Customer experience is treating the customer with the platinum rule. You treat them better than they expect to ever be treated.
That's a great response.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, good thought.
I didn't even have a good follow-up to that. That was perfect. Thank you, Mary. All right. We've got one more question, and then we're going to go to break, and we're going to dive into with our guest, Tyler and Mary. We'll have Tyler wrap us up with this segment. What's the difference between a referral partner and a brand ambassador?
Interesting. A referral partner would be probably like a center of influence that is referring business, and a brand ambassador is, to me, somebody that may or may not be doing business with you, but is very, very excited about the work you're doing, and they tell people about it because they believe in you and look at you as somebody that's full of trust and integrity.
Yeah, I think, referral partner they'll send you referrals when they're prompted, or when somebody comes in and asks about, hey, I need somebody for home care. Oh, Cyndi Durrance, great, okay.
Yeah.
But exactly what you said, a brand ambassador is just somebody that appreciates your values, what you represent, who you are, and they're going to talk about it whether they're using your services or not. I think that's great. Great way to end the segment, guys. When we come back, we're going to do a deep dive with Mary and Tyler. So stick around. We'll be right back on the Community Difference Plano.
And now back to the show. Attention DFW professionals. Something big is happening in Tarrant County, and it's not another networking event. This is the launch of the Business Development Alliance, a business development movement where professionals don't just connect. They grow, they lead, they build together. At BDA, we do it differently. We don't chase referrals. We build collaboration. We don't hope for follow-up. We're structured for follow-through. And we don't wait on growth. We develop it through coaching, clarity, and community. We bring in elected officials, school leaders, and regional influencers to share insights that help you understand and impact the decisions shaping your business. This isn't surface-level networking. It's a platform for growth, influence, and opportunity. If you're tired of being referral dependent, If you're looking for a room full of professionals who are as eager as you to build an ecosystem of growth, development, and productivity, come see what has already set Collin and Rockwall County professionals on fire. Now it's Tarrant County's turn. This isn't just business. This is serious business. The Business Development Alliance, Tarrant County, launches April 9th. So come on out and build with us every second Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, 6800 North Freeway, Fort Worth, Texas, 76131. And now back to the show.
Gotta love that Rudy's Barbecue out in Fort Worth, man. That's great. It's where we have our internal meetings at the one in Allen. So exciting news for the BDA. That's tomorrow, right, Lyndon? Did I hit that correctly?
You are correct. It is tomorrow. It's our launch. So it'll be our first one in Tarrant County.
Okay, so let's jump in. So first of all, we've got to talk with Mary, and we got to figure out what this grandbaby project is. I know I saw a little baby head popping out, not a real baby, but let's just start there. We can't go any further. We got to know what this is all about.
The Grandbaby Project. It is dementia doll therapy for our loved ones, whether they're in a home or in a community, but it is for our loved ones that are in stage 4 dementia and above. It is behavior modification without the use of pharmaceuticals. The average senior takes 5 medications that are needed. They take an additional 10 medications to counteract the side effects of the first 5. So you have them on 15 different medications a day, and they may be taking this multiple times. And with many dementia patients, it's very hard for them to swallow. Now we've got a whole new issue. So this baby does nothing and does everything, because it gives, first of all, a lot of comfort, but it gives them a reason. It gives them dignity. They have something that they're taking care of, something that is theirs. Dementia patients tend to go back, and I know that Tracy and Cyndi will both agree with me. They go back to a time in their lives when they were most happy.
Mm-hmm.
In many cases, that is when they had children or wanted to have children, or they themselves were a child. Fits the bill for all 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting. I've never thought about that, but you are, man. My grandfather had dementia, and I've seen it in other family members. It's so interesting how the mind works.
It is.
And so I guess this just gives them something to do, that they, like a focus that helps them in those later stages. It sounds like
it's a wonderful give purpose. Wonderful.
Yeah, it gives them purpose.
That's really neat. I like that a lot. That's a great.
Also,
and I like that you're.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Also, it helps with fall prevention, because they're not moving around as much. They're a lot of times sitting in the rocking chairs with their babies. Helps with socialization, because even if they're just speaking word salad, they're communicating with others. They're getting out of their rooms. They're being parts of activities. Now, in the case of being at home, the home caregiver has a 40-hour-a-day job, and they can't even maybe take a break to go to the bathroom, make a sandwich, something like that. They can put the loved one down with the baby to change the baby's diaper, and they have a few moments to take care of things, or just to get a break.
Yeah.
Well, I like that it's something that helps. That's not even more medication. So I think that's one of the best parts about it. Well, we're going to come back in just a moment, Mary. Tyler, we're ready for you to sing a song, man. Just let it rip.
So sorry, Tyler.
Hard pass.
I'm kidding. It's my fault. I don't know what happened, but now I'm never going to forget that. So, but no, so what I usually like to do, and I wanted to get to the grandbaby project because I found that so fascinating. I think that's really, really cool. I like to just do a couple of fun questions to get us going here. If you had any superpower for one day, what would it be and why?
Is this for me or Mary?
This is for you. Yep,
for
you.
A superpower for one day. In the world that we live in right now, if I could essentially put everybody in a place where they could show another an act of kindness, I think that would be a really cool superpower, because there's just a lot of dissension and a lot of things that happen.
If they could do what about it? You cut out.
I said if I had a superpower, I would love to be able to just essentially take our society and force them into having to do an act of kindness for somebody else, and to give back.
Off of it. That's a very, man, this is supposed to be fun, but now you got us all serious.
Yeah,
great answers.
I mean, I'd like to be better at golf, but
that's not that, but only for one day. That'd be worse. If you were only good one day, that'd be terrible, because you'd feel like, and then you'd suck the rest of your life. So that'd be Mary, what about you?
Oh, mine's easy. I would eradicate dementia.
Okay. Hey, there we go. I like that. That's good. That's very good. Well, and I want to hear from you guys, and we'll start with Mary again. What is that? Because obviously you're very passionate about what you do, Mary. Tyler, the same thing. What was that one moment, if there is one, or that pivotal moment, if you will, that led you to know, hey, this is what I want to do. This is why I'm excited about it. I'm passionate about it. Hey, there you go, Tyler. There's a raving fan for you, Tyler, right there.
Yeah.
Get the lyrics going from Katie. But what is that one pivotal moment, Mary, where you realize, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what led me into this journey of helping with dementia and in that senior world. Walk us through that. Just kind of give us pull the curtain back, if you don't mind.
I had been doing the Grandbaby Project for right at a year, and I did a baby shower, which is how we present the babies in the community. And when I got there, the community told me, they said, Miss Hazel does not want her husband to participate. She does not believe in the program, everything like that. Okay. So when I went by her husband, now he's been totally unresponsive for over 6 months. He has handprints in his wheelchair arms where he has gripped them. And he looked up and he looked at me and he looked at the baby. I gave him a baby. I thought, what is the worst this woman can do to me? Is she going to bite me? It didn't matter. I gave him a baby. Well, then they come and they said, Miss Hazel's here and she's seen her husband with that baby. I said, okay, that's fine. I kept delivering babies, working with my volunteers. It was a big shower. We were doing almost 50 babies. It was Christmas. Santa was there, everything. And a few minutes, this poor caregiver comes over and she goes, Miss Hazel wants to talk to you. I thought, okay, go talk to Miss Hazel. So I went over and she was sitting at the hearth and she was crying. And she told me what she didn't like about my program. She told me 3 things she didn't like about me. She said, but I want you to see something. Quit laughing. I want you to see something. She turned his wheelchair around and he had his baby. Now, this man doesn't move. He had his baby up in his arms and he was feeding it a cookie. That's awesome. I know in her mind, she saw her young husband taking care of their kids while maybe she finished dinner or something like that. And I knew then that I was where I belonged. That's because amazing. This baby is a miracle worker. And when I do presentations, I will ask at the end of the presentation, I know Tracy's heard this and Cyndi may have also, have you ever touched a miracle? Some people say yes when my children were born. Most people say no. And I hand them, this is baby Brita Ann. She's named after my mother. I hand them Brita Ann and say, well, now you have.
I love that. Well, Tyler, I hate to ask you to go after that story, but can you top that? What is that one moment in your life that kind of led you into this business journey and brought you here to where you're at in the home community, in the serving seniors in the home community?
Well, I don't serve seniors in the home community.
No, that's what I'm sorry. Sorry about that. With your other, yeah.
You're killing it with me today, Nathan. No, that's
man,
okay.
I'm just losing it today. I'm terrible. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with me.
no, that's okay. I don't know if there's one thing or another. I think one of my gifts, and I think more or less my passion, is to be able to help folks just get 1% better every day. And it's really led to a lot of rewarding things that have happened in the business that we're in. We work with a lot of different types of clientele. We're a fractional family office, but we work a lot with entrepreneurs and first generation business owners. And what I find is that, most of these business owners are head down in their business. They very rarely come up and get to the 30,000 foot level and say, okay, why am I doing all this? What's the point of all of this? And, ultimately helping them identify the things that are really important to them in their life, and have the ability as a quarterback of a team of experts just to imprint or allow them to imprint their legacy, and to help them with the things that, the pitfalls that they may or may not be thinking about. So we see ourselves as a team of problem solvers, and we've had the ability to come alongside families in their deepest and darkest times. And we've also gotten to be a part of a lot of celebrations, whether it be celebrating kids that, are accomplishing things from a educational standpoint, a professional standpoint, or, being there when, something very tragic happens and helping them through those times. So I think for me, there's not really necessarily a story around it, but I love getting up and knowing that I can have just a small impact on people's lives and ultimately helping them leave the legacy that they desire.
And you do that in so many areas, Tyler, not just within the financial advising and planning community, but we've got a networking group, and he's got his fingers in like this ISF foundation and everything, and he leads that way through everything he does. So yeah, he's built his own brand, and it follows him.
I was about to give you a second to talk about Tyler, but you jumped the gun, which is great. So I appreciate that. And Tyler, I gotta apologize because I don't know what's going on with me today. So I've painted you as a total alternate ego. Yeah, it messed me up from the beginning, and it's totally my fault. So I'll buy you coffee, man. We'll go get a Starbucks. We'll become raving fans of Starbucks together. So I apologize for that. No and then Cyndi, I wanted to give you a second just to comment and talk a little bit about Mary and maybe something that we don't know, and talk about y'all's relationship.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
No, your mic. I was just going to give you a second to talk about Mary and just y'all's relationship and how y'all got to know each other.
I got to know through Mary through the senior care industry. And I think our first interaction was at the Senior Service Alliance. And we had the same company. We did the same thing, but we partnered on a lot of activities and a lot the North Texas Food Bank Murder Mystery Tour and play that benefited the North Texas Food Bank. And I think we really kind of got to know each other there because we saw each other almost 5 days a week for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Before that, at least once a week. And it was a very social kind of environment. And we just got to know each other's heart. Mary has a beautiful heart. She has a passion for the elderly. And she's an excellent networking scientist. I call it a scientist because she has a method to her madness of who she's talking to, what she's going to say, and how can I benefit them and how can I serve them?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Mary, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing the Grandbaby Project with us. Tyler, thank you so much, founder of the Carrington Group, not in home care, which I did know that, but I don't know what I'm thinking. To our amazing co-host, Kirk, Cyndi, and Tracy, guys, thank you so much. Great second round of the topic. We'll be back on the same topic next week at this exact same time. You guys have a blessed day. If y'all stick around after the show for us, but we'll see you back here next Tuesday. Y'all have a good week.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with Summit Financial, Harvey Lucier with Twilight Cleaning Services, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Jacqueline Kreider with Financial Mastery Simplified, Susanna Austin with K9 Resorts, Audra Hooper with Audra Hooper Integrated Health, Cyndi Durrance with Right at Home, in-home care and assistance, and by Kirk Hodgson with Assured Partners. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference.